this idea of entrepreneurship also for me, and I wonder if Kath and Michael buy into this as well, but the idea of entrepreneurs are people who are problem solvers, who learn all the time because that's what's required in order to solve problems. And so the experience, how did the experience of becoming a brewery shape your thinking around how your school would operate?
That's a great question. I think what we realized during that crisis and then pulling out of it by starting our own brewery was that there were certain key skills that being an employee, that you didn't really need to be an employee, or that you didn't really learn in school, which was to take extreme initiative, to take radical responsibility for whatever was going to happen, because no one was there to save you or even give you feedback, right? So you had to get feedback from actually putting something out in the market and then to seeing what the market did with it. So anything you did, it like carried this risk with it, whereas that being an employee didn't seem to carry as nearly as much. So, and then learning how to pitch and talk about your idea to get other people to understand it and then come along with you. We had to do, we were thinking about the marketing. We were thinking about the customer experience. We were looking at the food. We were looking at, how do you price out things? I mean, it was just a level of intellectual exercise that we had not really been engaged with in an employee sense before, or in school just had not prepared us for that at all.
Right.
We really had to learn how to learn. And I mean, I always thought that university taught me how to learn, and it did, but it taught me how to learn in like a book sense. It didn't teach me how to learn in the way that this like trial by fire taught me how to learn.
I think that we want to be creating humans that can learn 2 or 3 times better than the average person is learning in school, because they're just trying to memorize stuff. Whereas, like, as an entrepreneur, just like you say, the learning curve is steep in so many ways. And I think it's only going to get steeper because of the technology, the advancement in technology. We're constantly having to learn, new technology and also the soft skills that are required and the nuanced conversations that you need to have as an entrepreneur. You really aren't prepared for those sort of things in school. So,
It's true.
But, it does prepare you to become an academic, I suppose, when you're in college.
Yes, or a teacher. And also, I think there's so much internal emotional learning. I don't know if you call it learning, but learning, growth that you have to go through as an entrepreneur, because you're constantly afraid and you're putting things in front of people and you're afraid, are they going to reject it? And so you have to become really strong, and you have to become really truly independent in a way that you don't need to you're not, how do you say that, like don't really care. You care deeply about what other people think if they're buying your product or what they think about your product, but you don't really care so much about what they think of you. It's just that you have to get this thing done. And so you get over like your fear of rejection, you get over your, mostly I think fear of rejection is something you have to get over. And school, definitely, they want you to be afraid of rejection in order to make you comply.
I was talking to a parent today about that very point, and the idea of being afraid in your learning is the antithesis of what a child is going to need in the future. I think your family story is precisely what every parent needs to be aware of, is that is the life that their child will likely lead. They will be going along, things are going well, and then there will be something coming out of left field that will completely disrupt their life. And if that child now has to just essentially wait for someone to tell them what's the next move, that child is going to get stuck. And that child and that child's family is going to be in big trouble. You guys were able to go, okay, we're going to lean into learning. We're going to learn the things that we wish we had learned before, how to pivot, how to sell, how to negotiate. All of these skills could be taught well earlier than real-time learning that you had to do as an entrepreneur. So that's very cool, and I think that's the model of what most families are going to have to kind of go through in the future.